welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me as always is new Michael, Kevin, Jack.
I'm here, Mike Dell, and just before we get into today's review, I wanted to ask you, because Deadpool and Wolverine just went up on streaming on Disney Plus this week, so I'm sure you went back and watched Deadpool 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine to get caught up, didn't you?
No. Nope.
Son of a bitch.
I didn't watch any of them. But you know what else I saw they didn't add was Steelgrip Starkey, the movie. And,
Not yet.
Yeah, that hasn't been made yet either. So why don't you tell the kids what we're reading this evening, Jack?
If Steelgrip Starkey was a little bit more like scantily clad, Roger Corman would have made a movie in the 90s, for sure. But yeah, we're going to be reading Steelgrip Starkey, issue number 4 today from Epic Comics, 1986, I believe.
Yes, 1986. And again, 1986 was my heyday for comic books. I was like 11 years old, and I never heard of Steelgrip Starkey. Never.
Yep. If I hadn't seen a random ad, like, talking about this comic, I was like, and being like, huh? And being very confused, I probably never would have heard of it either.
And I can say confidently right now that I wish I still never heard of Steelgrip Starkey.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of hilariously terrible.
Yes,
the past comic's been like it's memorable.
Yes, it is memorable for how terrible it is. But before we get into that, let's remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We're up to 302 subscribers. So 198 away from our goal of 500, when Jank will make me read The Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's
Returns, called? Yeah. Won't make you read Strikes Again, because it's not in the Bronze Age, and it's terrible.
All right, thank you. Hey, when did The Dark Knight come out? That came out in 86 too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, look at that. Steelgrip Starkey and The Dark Knight. Went out together. And also, I got a book out there called Monkey Flip about a chimp detective. Mm-hmm. I can say this: it is better than Steelgrip Starkey.
Well, I mean, maybe if you gave him an all-purpose power tool in the next book, he'd really have some.
That is the subtitle here of this book, Steelgrip Starkey, and is it in his or the? I think it's the all-purpose power.
Yeah. Yeah, his role in this is kind of nebulous as far as what they need him for.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, really. So, and good luck getting background information on Steelgrip Starkey. I was able to find a couple articles that people wrote about it, so I've been able to fill in some blanks. But otherwise, man, it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
No like Marvel encyclopedia page, nothing, none of that.
You mentioned this is from Epic. That was kind of like, how would you describe Epic? Like the more mature line for Marvel, or? In
theory, this book certainly didn't prove to be that way, but yeah, it was kind of, I guess, stuff that either didn't fit in the Marvel universe.
More creator owned, right? Is that kind of what it was? Yeah,
I would say that's more. Yeah, that's kind of what it was.
And because what was the DC Vertigo would be like the DC, but was that creator owned, or was that just more mature DC?
It was definitely more mature, kind of a like a weird tilt to it, like a more supernatural vibe. I feel like
we did Epic not too long ago here with Elf Quest.
Yeah,
it had the big elf orgy. So
now that was mature.
Yes, it was.
Not so much.
Here's a pitch for Steelgrip Starkey, introducing a new kind of hero, a good, hard-working Joe who's out to prove that the right man with the right tool can work miracles. He's Steelgrip Starkey, America's hardest-working hero.
That sounds like the start of an erotic fiction novel, but
yes, it does. And the whole all-purpose power tool could be a euphemism for something else.
Yep.
But this series, I don't know why it exists. Like, apparently Archie Goodwin was the editor of Epic at the time, and he had to approve this. So I have no idea what was going on over there.
Huh. No, this is definitely the declining days of Epic, I feel.
Yes, it was. Yes, it absolutely was, yeah.
Things were going downhill.
the series lasted just 6 issues, and each issue was 32 pages.
People
Good
demanded
God.
more Steelgrip.
It was so long. And at any point in the book, I was just begging for something to happen.
Yeah.
Any
kind of jeopardy at all.
The book was created by Alan Weiss. He's very good. Who wrote every issue and drew issues 1, 2, and 6. Have you ever heard of Alan Weiss?
No, which makes it kind of odd that he was given this comic book. He didn't have the idea, clearly. He doesn't seem like he has the name back it up, so I don't know.
Weiss was born in Chicago in 1948. He had 34 penciling credits at Marvel. While he didn't have any lengthy runs, he did do issues of the Avengers, Captain America, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Submariner, Power Man, and Iron Fist, and The Amazing Spider-Man. That's pretty awesome to say you've drawn at least one issue of all those books. And he also contributed to X-Men Heroes for Hope. He was one of the artists that...
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I don't think I ever actually read it. I got it.
Yeah, I read it and I got it. Yeah, for those who don't know, it was a book they did to raise money for, it was like Ethiopia or something, right?
Yeah, probably hunger.
Yeah. And like, I don't know how long the book was. We'll say 32 pages. But like every 2 pages was drawn by a different artist or so, right? Like every 2 or 3 pages.
Yep.
So,
right.
Bunch of artists. Anyway, he only had 14.
Like the Live Aid of.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, because that's right when Live Aid was going on and everything, so they tried to cash in on it. But he had only 14 writing credits, with the most notable being Captain America issue 164. So
that's favorite issue. No, I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's still pretty cool to say I wrote Captain America issue 164. That'd be pretty awesome. You know?
Yeah.
So good for him.
Other than my cat.
But he's really mostly known for Steelgrip Starkey.
Oh no. You don't want this to be your legacy.
All right, so this book, it's main character is a fellow named Patrick Steelgrip Starkey. And why do they call him Steelgrip, Jank?
Because I guess he's got one of those kung fu grips like
no. I was fishing for you to do that old Norm Macdonald joke. Was it underneath the Queensboro Bridge?
Oh yeah.
That's where
Sherry found him. Yeah. Sherry found him jerking off punks under the George Washington Bridge, $15 a man.
Yeah, I think it's Queensboro, whatever. So anyway, Steelgrip Starkey, he's a construction worker, the Steelgrip Starkey guy. And, like I said, I found an article that talked about Steelgrip Starkey kind of in depth. Actually, the article, I forget who wrote it, but they were taking a queer read of Steelgrip Starkey and reading in all the homosexual subtext of the title. And of course, it's all-purpose power tool and everything, yeah. Sure. So, but they were showing like some samples of the first issue there. And, he was working at a construction site, and he's got a buddy named Flynn G. Flying Ryan.
What a name. They put some thought into that one.
All right. Now I should mention, Steelgrip Starkey, he's a white fella. And, this, Flynn G. Flying Ryan, whatever the hell. He's also a white fella. And he looks like someone out of like, Dukes of Hazzard. Like,
sounds about right.
Yeah, he's chubby. He wears overalls. Got like
with one notable addition, he has like a registered trademark thing stamped into his forehead, like a little R in a circle, just stamped onto his forehead. So someone's got a copyright on Flying Ryan. No.
I had no idea what that meant either. And luckily, one of these articles explained to me that he was a helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War, and he was shot down and taken prisoner. So he carved the R into his own forehead to symbolize resistance. Oof. Seems like a poor decision.
Yeah. Maybe just like frown a lot. That would be fine.
Maybe don't talk to your captors. Ignore them. carve
Silent.
an R into your forehead. So,
Yeah. Yikes.
all right. Now, there's also a lady in this called Sherry Barrett. Now, when you read this issue, she's clearly a black woman, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could maybe convince me like Indian.
But her skin is very dark.
Yep.
But actually, that apparently was just a quirk of this issue. she was a Filipino.
Oh, okay.
So like in other issues, her skin is not this dark.
Really?
So I was very confused.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, she
Seems
is
like it's
very, yeah. Does not seem very Filipino to me. No.
Oh. So her deal was she's like this scientist lady. She's a really smart lady. She worked at some lab or something. And some mysterious guy called Mr. Pilgrim.
Yeah.
That's his name, Mr. Pilgrim. And how does he dress, Jank?
Do we see Mr.
Right?
Pilgrim?
Yeah, we see him in like one panel. But he dresses like a pilgrim. That's what.
Oh, yeah, with the little pilgrim hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's
I didn't even know
guy.
that was him.
But he's like some Illuminati guy, some rich, influential fella. He's very mysterious. And he somehow found a magic box, or I don't know, called the All-Purpose Power Tool. And it's like this toolbox, and you open it up, it basically becomes anything you want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Convenient.
So he got this Sherry lady to be like the technical wizard for the power tool to program it and everything. But she needed some big strapping men to help her, run it, control it.
Yeah. Because not just anyone can pull that lever. That basically operates on its own.
Has to be a big strapping fellow with a steel grip. And so she just goes down to this construction site and she just picks up Steelgrip Starkey and Flying Ryan.
Dude, these guys got nicknames. I'm going to get them.
And every guy
in Doug.
at the construction site, when she goes down there, asking around for people, the first guy she meets is kind of like real racist to her because she's Filipino. He's making a bunch of like Asian jokes and everything. And so he's a terrible person. So we know that Flying Ryan's a good guy because that terrible racist fella attacks Flying Ryan for apparently no reason, and he starts beating him up. And then Steelgrip Starkey's
Flying Ryan like come to her defense or something first, or he just
really
took a swing at? Okay, wow.
So, well, he lifts up a hammer and he's about to hit Flying Ryan with a hammer or something. And Steelgrip Starkey's hanging off the side of the girders, and he reaches down and grabs the guy by the wrist and yanks him off the ground there. And he's like, you're crushing my hand. And and everyone's like, that's why they call him Steelgrip. But everyone else at this construction site, whatever tool they were using, they got a nickname like it's Billy the Drill or whatever. They all had names about whatever.
It'd be a fun construction site, yeah.
So, like, your nickname is always whatever you do, like Flying Ryan. He used to fly, that kind of thing. So, all right, yeah, Mr. Pilgrim, this
Toilet
mysterious.
Teddy, he spends most of his day in the portage, John. Just trying to run out the clock.
This Mr. Pilgrim, he also has a right-hand man, Dr. Sartorius, who looks like Rick James.
He sure does, like a jacked Rick James. That was why one of the things maybe he had to pick this issue. Is like, oh yeah, look at this guy. And there's a guy in a goofy lion outfit. This is the one.
So Dr. Sartorius is like a psychiatrist and a head shrinker, or whatever they call him in this all the time. Yeah. But they don't mean literally a head shrinker. Just like,
No.
Because I think another guy in this book is literally a head shrinker, but this guy is not. Anyway, so that's the team we're dealing with here. And basically, this Mr. Pilgrim wants to send them around to use this all-purpose power tool to do good deeds for some reason.
Yeah. He's a very benevolent Illuminati guy, apparently.
Like, before I knew all this, because I did this research after I read the book. So there's a point in this book where Flying Ryan they're talking about the mission they have to go on, and Fly and Ryan says, yeah, Mr. Pilgrim says we got to do this. And Steelgrip Starkey says, hey, when am I going to be able to meet this Mr. Pilgrim guy? And he says, oh, yeah, it'll happen pretty soon. Don't you worry. Now, right then, that moment, I was intrigued. Because I'm like, oh, maybe there is no Mr. Pilgrim. Maybe Fly and Ryan is like manipulating everything.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
I was like, oh, this could be pretty cool. But then, like a panel later, no, there really is a Mr. Pilgrim, and this is all just bullshit. So,
yeah, this could have been some Higgins thing, like fucking.
Yeah.
Turns out he's evil at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, so, there's really nothing interesting about this book at all. Not in the least. I just don't understand why anyone would pitch this. Like, who pitches this? Obviously, Alan Weiss did. But who hears this pitch and thinks, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
That's got legs. That's an idea that's got legs.
It
like, are they superheroes? No. They just kind of, operate a big machine. And
I think Archie Goodwin did mention, I did read some little interview with Archie Goodwin where he talks about, it wasn't an interview about Steelgrip Starkey, but it was just about, like, Epic at the time. And how Steelgrip Starkey just got approved and it's going to be coming out soon or something. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to do superhero books. And we got a book called Steelgrip Starkey. And it's coming out. Just because it's not a superhero book doesn't mean you have to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for, like, optimistic sci-fi futures where it's like, oh, okay, it doesn't have to be a post-apocalypse or something where the Terminators have risen up and destroyed humanity. Like, it's cool that they're using technology in a good way that's helping humanity, but I don't need to read a book about it when there's really no conflict or anything that makes this worth reading.
That is true. So, all right, is there anything else we need to say about this? I mean, that's pretty much more than anyone's ever said about Steelgrip Starkey.
Yeah. That's for sure.
All right, well, why don't you describe the cover for us?
Okay. So, let me scroll up a little. Scroll. Says, got a little Epic Comics E up there in the top left corner. And then a yellow corner box with Steelgrip Starkey himself. Kind of like giving a little fist up in the air, like, yeah, did it. And he's got his little all-purpose power tool there, which comes in a box that even says, like, Starkey Enterprises, so that's cool. Yeah,
Starkey, I think it's Starkey, 2 words.
Yeah.
Because at one point that Shari girl says that Mr. Pilgrim says the stars are the key to the future or something. Starkey, I don't know.
Oh.
But what was his real name again? Not it wasn't because his last name is Starkey. So wow, Patrick Starkey.
Coincidence. Yeah.
Wow, what are the odds?
Like Stephen Strange becoming a magician. Well,
all right. And also, maybe describe what he looks like, because Mr. Pilgrim gave him this little outfit.
Oh, that's important. You can't pull the lever in a normal, outfit. It's got to be this one.
Yep.
It's not much of an outfit. It's just kind of, he's got goggles, like, kind of see-through, sports goggles, essentially. Got like a very short haircut, kind of, buzzed up a little bit.
Yeah, like brown hair, brownish red, something like that.
Yeah. He's really jacked. He's wearing like a red shirt. Just like a red shirt that's kind of got a little bit of a V-neck going on.
Well, it's got like around the sleeves only cover like the shoulders.
Yeah.
And around the collar goes down, but around the edges of the sleeves and then throat there, it's almost like rivets, I think.
Yeah, it's almost a little bit reminiscent of like Ram Man from Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, a little bit.
Those weird rivets, yeah. But then he's just kind of got pants on, like tactical pants, I guess.
Like gray pants.
Yep.
And some gloves.
Some construction boots, I guess.
Yeah. So.
They're black. Not too typical.
What a hero Steelgrip Starkey is.
What a man.
All right.
So then $1.50 is what they charge for this, which is
yikes.
I don't care if there was 32 pages. That's worse. That actually lowers the value.
Yes, it does. I kept waiting for it to end. There's like one good place where like, oh, this should be the ending of the book. Nope. 10 more pages after that.
Yeah. This is number 4 in a 6-issue limited series. They had the good sense to cut it off. They're like, well, no, we know this isn't going to last. And I would get the Steelgrip Starkey and the all-purpose power tool logo. It's very, I don't know how to describe that font. It's very, Tron-esque a little bit.
Or like Battlestar Galactica or some sort of a space thing.
That's the sci-fi thing for sure.
But like the steel grip is kind of tilted upward, like 3-dimensionally. And then the Starkey is like kind of tilted forward 3-dimensionally. And they're like intermeshed. So
starting a cube.
Yeah, it's very strange. And then in the all-purpose power tool.
Probably the most interesting part of the book, I would say.
But the letters are white and the background or the 3-dimensional aspect is yellow, so that's a little weird. And then and the all-purpose power tool got a 3-dimensional thing happen with them too, but they're red outlined in white with yellow.
Yeah.
That's just a little weird that the main logo, the letters are just white. Do you think those are supposed to be colored red as well?
No, they have the red outline, so they do have the same color scheme. It's just kind of reversed a little bit and mixed up. So I think that's what they were going for. I don't know why, but
yeah, not a really good look.
It's not the worst look we've seen. But then the cover here is just black. They're in the blackness of space. You kind of see Earth in the background. There's a space shuttle kind of orbiting here, and we are on the moon, where Steelgrip Starkey and Sherry, they're kind of just wrapped. Well, partially wrapped in like a big, metal, techno-organic type thing. Like if Warlock from, the X-Men was like around them, surrounding them as like a giant wall. Except it's conveniently, not covering the part that we can see, like the front angle, so that we can still see them.
Yeah, there's like an explosion going on.
Explosion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is making a shield to protect them from the explosion. But, this is Val Myrick who did the cover. He also did the interior art for the book. Because Alan Weiss only did the art, like I said earlier, issues 1, 2, and 6, I think. And Val Myrick did 4 and maybe 5, and someone else did 3. I don't know. But it's always good when you have a 6-issue limited series and you have like 4 artists. So that's
that's a perfectly good sign. Yeah. They're going for that X-Men Heroes for Hope model.
Yeah.
It up.
But we've talked about Myrick on the show he's an old school artist. I think he started in the Silver Age, right? And then he I'm trying to think what else he did that we would have.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know.
We have talked about
familiar.
But I can't remember. Because we're not real big fans of Al Myrick, but
no, so we don't have his his IMDb memorized.
Yeah. All right, so the cover's not the best. It's okay.
Yeah, I thought the art looked a little bit better here than it does in the book. I think they're inking it and coloring it differently because it does look a little bit stronger on the cover.
Yeah, it was inked. The cover was inked by Weiss. So the interiors are inked by Sam De La Rosa. Jim Shooter was the consulting editor.
Oh, Jim.
Jim, crack the whip, buddy. Come on, what are you doing?
Oof. You gotta shoot these ideas.
Then we open it up and we get like a black and white picture of Steelgrip Starkey's big, dopey, smiling face. And it says, America's legendary heroes have always borne the nation's dreams and aspirations to new frontiers, taking them even farther, higher, and faster. Here's to the Trailblazers. Men with names like Daniel and Davy, Kit and Zeb. They carried our dreams from ocean to ocean. Here's to the flying heroes. Men with names like Captain Eddie, Lucky Lindy, Bert, and Doolittle. They carry our dreams to the skies. And here's to the heroes of science and fiction. Men with names like Flash and Bucky, Glenn and Armstrong. They carried our dreams to the stars. Okay,
wow. So it's a moving tribute to partially fictional character.
Steelgrip Starkey. What's he doing? Carrying our
He's going to
dreams.
space,
He's
I guess.
carrying our dreams to the hardware store. So we can get all-purpose power tools. I don't know. It's like they're trying to set him up as this mythical hero, like a Johnny Appleseed or a Paul Bunyan or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know.
It doesn't really do much.
Oh.
Sherry's really doing all the work.
Yeah. Yeah, we should say Sherry spelled Shari, just so you can picture it in your head.
Yeah. Very important.
It is. So, all right, now we open it up, and we're like in the office, like the meeting room of a evil corporation, I take it.
Yeah. An evil corporation who apparently they've done work for like 2 other issues of this series so far and have gotten stiffed each time, but for some reason this time they're like, oh, now I'm sure you'll pay us this time.
Glow Block Inc. Because that's, I gotta tell you, if you're working for a corporation called Glow Block, it's a flag, right? I mean,
yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. But the title of this issue is
Block.
Who's Mining the Moon?
Yeah, I like a good title or a good question title. Like, is California sinking?
Right. I was trying to think of what that was. Yeah, that Aquaman. Is California sinking? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. So,
we'll never rest again.
There's some like 3 white dudes behind a very large desk. They share a desk. These 3 guys.
Well, I'm assuming this is like a conference room, I would hope.
But it's weird because like the way the desk is shaped, it like curls around them instead of, so I don't know. But
there are no telephones or, I mean, I guess it was a little early for computers, but they got nothing there to work on.
Not even some index cards, nothing. So, we see Fly and Ryan, Sherry, and Steelgrip. And I like Steelgrip's always wearing his goggles, even during business meetings. He's got his gloves on and his goggles.
Yeah.
Sherry also wears like goggles as well.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if these are like Google glasses before they existed. Like they were doing something.
And Flying Ryan, he's just smoking a dart. He's not. He doesn't need no stinking goggles. Yeah. So what are these glow block people? What do they want them to do here, Jake?
So they have realized that there are 2 like dictators, one from like Africa and one from like Saudi Arabia type places. And they are doing something on the moon. They're mining up all this like moon rock or something that's on the moon. And they're like, we want you to go up there and, get some for us. Get us some samples so we can figure out what the hell they're doing with this stuff.
Yeah, what are they mining up there, We want to know what they're doing. They're mining something. So
we want to know what it is and what they're planning to do with it.
Hey, remember last week on the show and in my recent author newsletter, I was talking about exposition and how not to do it. Well, here's a perfect example of how not to do it, because like you said, they've worked for this company before, and they worked for them on a previous mission up in like Alaska, I think they said, right?
Yep.
Somewhere cold. So Sherry just recounts for everybody in the room exactly what happened on their previous mission in Alaska, even though everyone in the room would already know this. And it's just to tell readers what has been happening. And so that was really annoying. And
well, it could have made sense if they would have like been like, hey, we're not going to do this because you screwed us over on the last job. But
yeah. Or if those guys at the meeting say, hey, what happened on that last job? Because, something went weird. Yeah. What happened? And then she can, but no,
and they're like, like one guy was off, he went off orders and it was his fault. Like something.
Yeah, she just jumps right into an explanation for no reason. And everyone's like, thanks for telling me again, because we already know this. But,
but cool. But this time we're good, right?
So, that's their mission. They got to go up and figure out they know who's mining the moon, but why are they mining the moon? Yeah.
So that title is kind of weird. They're like, we actually know who. I think he even says it like right away. Like, we actually know who's doing it, but we just want to know why. So.
And then there's a couple things here. Like, again, here's Steelgrip. He brings up the idea. You mean better us than them or the Russians to find out what's going on. So you want the Starkey crew to become Star Voyagers. But again, he says Starkey is 2 words. And but his real name is Starkey, one word. And then the place he works for, I guess, is two words. It's all very odd. It's all very
Yep.
odd.
Yep. Maybe that's how he pronounces his name. I'm Steelgrip Starkey.
Yeah, I don't get it. And is that why they sent her down to the, like, is that why she went down to the construction site? Because she heard there's a guy with a steel grip named Starkey, and like, oh, that's perfect combo for our company. You know?
Yeah.
That's perfect marketing.
It's weird. Like, who made this company? Did he start the company once he got hired by her? Like, I don't know.
Pilgrim started all, right? Because she does say at some point, Starkey, because stars are the key to the future. And I think that's Mr. Pilgrim who told her that. So I'm guessing Pilgrim started the company, and then they just searched the phone book for a guy named Starkey. So they could, I don't know.
We got to make this work.
And then Starkey, keep in mind, he's wearing his big gray gloves, and he shakes the hand of the creepy glow block guy, and he thinks to himself, clammy. But he's wearing gloves. How can he feel with his hands are clammy?
How would you know? That's good writing right there.
So then they go out of the glow block place, and they're talking over, hey, this is going to be crazy, going up to the moon. Can't wait to go to the moon. Are you excited, Flying Ryan?
Yeah, your name's Flying Ryan. You're going to fly into space. He's like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, they're like, what do you mean you're not going? He's like, well,
sure,
I talked to
good enough shape health-wise. He's like, oh, my shape's got nothing to do with it, even though I'm fat.
Yeah, this guy's a very deceptive athlete because he does not look athletic or fit at all. But later on, he's jumping from building to building. Yeah, he's going crazy. But he just got his overalls on. He's got to help Uncle Jesse, down at the still when they make their moonshine. But yeah, this is the part where he says, "No, Mr. Pilgrim's going to send me on a secret mission there, and while you guys go to the moon, I'm going to go down to some. Is it Africa he's going to? Yeah, some African nation, right?
Yeah, I think Swaziland or something they said.
And we get like a one shot of like a flashback shot of him talking to Pilgrim and Dr. Sartorius, the Rick James. Dr. Sartorius is dressed, to the nines, like a tuxedo and everything. And Mr. Pilgrim looks like a Dick Cheney in a Pilgrim's hat. A skinny Dick Cheney in a Pilgrim's hat.
Yeah. It's a lot like Peter Griffin's dad on Family Guy.
I'll take your word for it.
Wearing a Pilgrim's hat.
But yeah, so they're all like, what do you mean a special mission? He goes, well, yeah, I got to go down there and we're going to do something. But hey, good luck on the moon, And they're like, oh, cool. All right.
And he's like, yeah. Shot of James's face. He's just thinking about cocaine. Oh, hell of a drug.
Rick James, did he sing Funky Town, right? Was that Rick James?
Oh, he sang Super Freak and Give It to Me, Baby.
Who sang Funky Town?
That was Lips Inc.
Oh, wow. All right. What about Electric Avenue? Who sang that?
Eddie Grant.
That's who I was trying to think of, Eddie Grant. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But I really don't know my Rick James, apparently.
No.
I know what he looks like basically from Chappelle, I think.
Yep. That's all you need to know. That'll be his lasting legacy.
So this Flying Ryan, before he leaves, he says, meantime, while you're training your butts off, I'll be picking up passports, equipments, phony IDs, not to mention the lion suit. See you later, space cadets. And they both say, lion suit?
They don't ask him, though. Like, oh, what do you mean?
So now they're going to go to astronaut school, Sherry and Steelgrip.
Yeah.
And we get a few pages of them in astronaut school. And all right, so the first thing we see are them in astronaut suits, and they're playing around with the Starkey toolbox there, the all-purpose power tool. It's still in its box. And then in the next panel down, we see Steelgrip in his red tighty underpants. He's up on a table, and he's got electrodes on him and everything, and the doctor's checking him out. And he says, Mr. Starkey, somehow immediately after contact with the power tool, all your vital signs seem, more vital. And Starkey says, it does give me a jolt. I always feel stronger. My endurance is increased, as is my resistance to extreme temperatures. That's crazy. And now on the right side of this paint, we get a shot from behind of Sherry looking pretty cute in her little underpants, but it looks like she's topless.
Yeah.
But like her hair is
And
covering. So yeah, so
the doctor makes quite the offer here. Like, you're cleared for takeoff, Miss Barrett. Physically, you're A-okay, and your written test scores were very high. In fact, should you ever leave Starkey Enterprises, we got a job for you here.
Yeah. Well, she's just in her
topless,
underpants, no bra, and he's staring right at her. And, we got a job for you.
Job for you right here.
So on the next page, we get a big old splash page of them floating in space, like zero gravity, like a zero gravity simulator thing, trying to work on the all-purpose power tool. Yeah, this all-purpose power tool, it's like we said, it's literally a white toolbox with Starkey on the side. And then they open it up, it just becomes like a living organic, like you mentioned, Warlock, like a techno-organic, except it's white and it's not black and yellow like Warlock. But
it's like silvery metal.
Yeah, it just grows and turns into whatever they need. And so
now this whole thing, the whole setup of this, like, I know I doubt there are many people that read this comic, but I kind of feel like Michael Bay might have, because a lot of it was very similar to the movie Armageddon, which I know you haven't seen yet, but like they send like there's an asteroid coming to Earth and they send a bunch of like oil drillers up into space, and they've like, they're roughnecks, and they just get them trained to go into space really quickly, even though they're like, oh, it's easier for you guys to learn how to go to space than it is to teach astronauts how to drill. So somehow that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's not true at all.
Exactly. But then they go to space and they're like drilling into this thing for the longest time. So it's very similar to this with all the drilling in space, and
That would be funny if Michael Bay drew inspiration from Steelgrip Starkey issue 4. Yeah. But they show him going through training. There's two other guys that are going on the mission with him, like a pilot, like pilots and whatever. Yeah. And they just show him going through everything. And then there's like a tabloid newspaper where Steelgrip Starkey's on the cover. Person's Weekly. Steelgrip in space. And it shows him in
Steelgrip's famous already.
He's a big celebrity. And we got, there's also a little story about Victoria says, no more husbands. Some actors named Victoria. And then Sherry Barrett on programming the super tool.
Yeah. Plus the Steelgrip diet. You gotta find out what you gotta eat to look like Steelgrip.
America's techno hero to make moon landing. Special feature, the all-purpose power tool, machines of the future. And commentary by Arthur C. Clarke and Isaac Asimov. Oh, how about that?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Look at them. Still alive in this reality, apparently.
So, finally on launch day, Glowblock is sending up their own space shuttle, and there's Flying Ryan at the launch pad, still in his overalls, smoking a dart.
I love that this guy's always smoking.
Wasn't he supposed to be in Africa by now?
Yeah, he's taking the scenic route.
It seems like their training lasted like 6 hours. They did all that in like 6 to 8 hours. They're ready to go.
Just a quick course, yeah. You got it. We did one simulator and he didn't throw up. You're ready for space.
Yeah. So I guess he's trying to go down to find out what's going on the moon.
Like one of those dictators, they're going to go find out what he's up to. Like they can get to him and figure out what exactly they're doing on the moon before, Steelgrip and Sherry even get there.
Which it seems like you want to do that before you send them up there. Just for
while they're training, which hopefully takes more than 6 hours, you send that guy and get this all sorted out.
Because, going up to the moon's kind of expensive too, just in fuel and everything. So, you might want to try the earthbound solutions to the problem first. And
try
then
the $5 or the line suit you got from Five Below. And,
Five Below. I just realized there's a Five Below in Greensburg, my hometown. I had no idea what it was. And, apparently it's like a rip-off Target. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross. It's like the in-between Target and the dollar store.
Okay.
It's more than $1, but it's
Five Below.
$5. Yeah.
I didn't even make that connection. I was thinking it was very cold in there.
It's just a lot of meat. Like the freezer that Rocky would go to.
Maybe I'll have to go out there. But I turned my head the other day and I noticed one. I was like, what is that? 5 below. All right. So now we see them taking off to the moon in their little space shuttle. Boom, they launch up there and things go according to plan. Everyone's having a good old time.
Yep. Everything goes pretty well.
Again, this goes back to, remember the Judge Dredd issue. We talked about what difference between story and plot and how, you need something to go wrong at some point.
Yeah.
And nothing ever goes wrong. Steelgrip Starkey, everything goes right down the line. They say they're going to do something, and they do it. Don't you doubt it.
Sure do.
They're going to do it. So, all right, now we see Flying Ryan. He's in Africa, and he's still in his overalls. And he's still smoking a dart.
I wish we got a scene of him on the plane smoking, and I wish he was smoking when he wore the lion suit later on.
My favorite is
my mystique.
He's looking around and he's like talking about all the people there, and then he gets up to the street and he's like, "Soon as this black limo passes, oh, get me a cab." And then he's like, "Uh-oh," because the black limo just stops by the curb in front of him. Yeah. Now this is an ominous development. And these two like African soldier guys grab him, and they're like, "American, get in the car." And he's all nervous. But then when they throw him in the car finally, it's Dr. Sartorius. Rick James himself is in the car. And he does not take him to Electric Avenue because that is Eddie Grant.
No, not at all.
But Dr. Sartorius, what does he tell? He's just filling him in on what the mission's going to be, right?
Yeah, he's like, "I'm the new head of psychology or whatever in this country. Like, this guy's so stupid. He just put me in charge." Like, I think he shrunk the old guy's head, like actually shrunk it.
I don't know. I'm confused by all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the dictator in this country is one of the guys who is mining the moon. So they know that he is terrified of the lion god. It's African lion god. So they're going to have Flying Ryan dress up in a lion costume and terrorize him during the night.
In the middle of the night. But he's got armed guards, so, you got to get in past the guards, and you got to basically jump from rooftop to rooftop to get to his balcony there.
This guy,
no problem. This guy who smokes every 5 seconds.
He's clearly overweight, wears overalls. He's running moonshine on the weekends. But he's a ninja when he's wearing a lion outfit.
A heavy fur outfit in like Africa.
It's so dumb. All right, so we actually stay with him. I thought we cut back. No, we stay with him. We see him in the lion outfit, and he's jumping.
Really cool.
Jumping from building to building, sneaks up behind these two guards, and he's thinking to himself, the first batch of guards, they ain't heard me yet. Maybe I should roar. And the one guy turns around and he super kicks him some sweet chin music, knocks him out. And then he's thinking, say goodnight, graceless. And then whoop, the other guy looks quick. And then he punches him, but not quick enough. Like this guy's dropping anybody with one punch. Like he could get his leg that high. Give me a break.
Yeah. He seems more likely to, punch himself and then be like, "I'm resisting. I'm part of the resistance."
When he's walking away, he says, he's thinking to himself, "And when you wake up alive in the morning, you can be thankful I wasn't a real lion." And then it says 5 guards and 15 minutes later. Wow, he's just mowing through guards.
Yeah.
He's looking through the window of the dictator, and he sees him sleeping alone. How many African dictators sleep alone? They got, all kind of horrors.
Yeah, it's unlikely. Yeah.
But he's outside the window, and he's like, roar, and he's screaming, and then he just jumps right through the window.
Yeah.
Shatters the glass. How great would it be if he jumps, hits the window, it just drops. Like the window doesn't break. But he goes crashing. He goes crashing through the window, and the dictator guy is terrified. "No, please do not devour me, I beg of you." Right away when he wakes up, he says, "I, Naganti, the lion god." And Flying Ryan thinks to himself, "Bingo. That's exactly what we're trying to get."
Working. The dictator's all like, no, it wasn't me. It was the Arab. His plan, his money. I couldn't refuse him.
You have insulted the goddess of the moon. You must pay.
It wasn't me. I told him I told him it was not good to plant those mines, but he would not heed. And then Sartorius is like, oh, plant those mines. Oh, they're actually mining the moon. Like putting mines on the moon.
Yeah,
That's what they didn't dig it for.
They were mining elements. No, they're literally putting mines on the moon. For what reason exactly?
Our plan when we pretty much given up going to the moon.
Yeah. Like, why are they doing this?
Yep. I don't know.
Because the moon is an enormous place, you know?
Right.
So even if you plant a bunch of mines on the moon just to like sabotage American space or whatever, but like you said, we're not going there anyway. And even if we do, are we really going to land on that exact spot of the moon where you put the mines? I mean,
yeah. Seems pretty unlikely. I mean, were they mining the places we'd gone before? Like, there's hoping we'd come back to that same spot?
In case you want to pick up that flag? I don't know.
Yeah. Someone's going to be looking for those golf balls someday.
This book is like so dumb. I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like the Earth, like, you know, the U.S. was trying to build a moon base or something. No, that's not part of this book at all. No reason for this.
So they try to get a hold of, the next day we see Dr. Sartorius talking to this dictator guy in his office. And he's telling Dr. Sartorius, and he's like, and I saw him, the lion god appeared to me. His roar was terrifying. I thought it was a dream, but my bedroom window is really broken. 2 guards saw him also. And so I guess the other 3 guards that he took out are additional.
Yeah, they didn't see it coming.
Yeah, did he take out 2 and then 3, or was it 2 and then 5?
5.
Yeah.
5 more, yeah.
So man, they never even saw it coming.
Yeah.
But so then Dr. Sartorius says, please calm yourself, General. It was very likely a dream manifestation of guilt feelings associated with the more violent aspects of your partnership with Zamati. Think of the lion god as your own conscience. And he's like, yeah, you think so, Doctor? Perhaps. Then again, what did you have for dinner last night? Dun, 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 dun. Doing a little humor, trying to get a joke in there. And then then we cut over and we see them in space. So they hurried up and they called the space shuttle, and they're like, hey, be careful. There's mines on the moon. Be very careful. And the pilot's like, yeah, it's a little late. We already sent down Steelgrip and Sherry and the all-purpose power tool in their little lunar landing module. So
they're landing right now.
Yeah. So we see them land, and then boom. They
happen to land right on one of those mines.
I guess there's another guy down there with them too. And so their ship blows up and they're all flying through space. And I'm like, when I read that, Jake, I'm like, oh, thank God it's the end of the book. Like that's the cliffhanger. Like that's the cliffhanger, right?
Yeah, they'll get you to come back. Like, oh, maybe they died.
Nope. Keeps on going. Keeps on
You get to see their whole moon adventure in this book.
And even though they were on a ship that blew up, everyone's fine except that Sherry's got a puncture in her suit. Yep. So, you know, that could be deadly.
I'll cut your shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh my God, real jeopardy here, but nope. Oh, the all-purpose power tool can fix it. It's going to create a dome, basically, that has its own environment in it. So you don't need to breathe. Breathe in here.
They're like in a little igloo, self-contained little igloo where they can breathe. So she takes off her space helmet. Then they patch up her space suit. And then they
very easy. It just like sews together. She creates something that sews it.
Yeah, there's no drama here at all. No jeopardy, nothing. Just, I got a hole in my suit. Oh, let me fix it real quick. Okay, done. And so then they find out that there's mines on the moon, so they turn the power tool into a giant mine sweeper with like treads and all these arms and levers and everything. And they just go around through the moon digging for mines.
Yep.
That's what they do.
And it goes remarkably easy at every point. For some reason, they're drilling for these mines, but they're like, oh, the all-purpose power tool has a safety feature that won't actually detonate the mines. Like, how? What do you mean? You're drilling right into them. How's that not going to detonate them?
So they got all these arms and claws and everything, and they pick up the mines and they put them in a bucket, and then they just shoot the mines into space.
Yeah, I guess once you get enough of them together, like the signals start overlapping and they are going to explode. Except the first one is very small. Like there's maybe 6 of them, and they're like, oh, we got to put it in space. And then later on, they have a whole bucket full, like a whole, like dumpster full.
Yeah, there's like hundreds of mines in this.
Yeah. So somehow those ones didn't go until there was 100 of them.
And they put like a big catapult and they boom shoot them all into space. So again, we just see the same exact thing happen twice, just to different degrees.
Yeah.
And
they just grab the arms of this thing and they kind of put them up in space and they blow up and the power tool's fine, no damage, nothing of any interest happens here.
And they're like, oh, we got to repair our landing tool. You know that one that blew up the landing module? We got to repair that. Yep. So Sherry's like, all right, just give me the tool.
The all-purpose power tool can do that.
Yep. And it fixes it. They go back up to the ship. And then they come home. And that's it. That was the mission. So
you could have had like the other countries could have still been there. You could have had to fight them. No, none of that. Like, just we left some mines for you in a place you don't go anymore.
So now we go down to Glow Block again, where we started the issue in the same conference room, and now it's just Steelgrip Starkey and Flying Ryan, and Flying Ryan's got a little satchel with him, and they go in to talk to the same guys at the beginning of the book. And what happens here, Jake?
Well, they basically, are stiffing him again. They're like, we're not going to pay you because the deal was we were going to pay you for samples from the moon, and you didn't come back with any samples, so you just cleared up mines. That was a different thing. We never, told you to do that. And Steelgrip's not happy about that. So they decide to say, well, here, like Flying Ryan says, so as a token of our steam, not esteem, but steam, which is weird. It's like, have a moon mine. So they just plop one of those moon mines on the guy's desk.
Yeah.
And for the full, Steelgrip's like, for the full effect, we have to turn it on.
So Flying Ryan, triggers the mine, and they go running. And the guys in the office like, oh my God, they're going to kill us. They're going to kill us. And then the mine explodes, but just a bunch of like streamers and confetti and puppets pop out. It was like a little clown puppet with a parachute.
Yep.
And Ryan and Steelgrip are laughing up a storm. That's hilarious. Yeah. They just stiffed us again. You didn't make any money for that mission.
Nope.
So
you trusted these guys yet again for some stupid reason, and yet again it did not work out. I don't know what's wrong with you. This is like Wile E. Coyote when he keeps buying acne products. Just don't do it anymore.
And Flying Ryan says, Lordy, Lordy, what a picture they make you feel any better? And Steelgrip says, Shari's okay, the tool's okay, I'm okay. Hell, I'm a spaceman now. And that's how it ends.
Yep.
Boy,
it's a shame this never caught on because this could have been a great role for Josh Brolin.
I've been doing this show for 5 years now. It's hard to believe. 5 years. This is, without question, the worst book I've ever done on Flea Market Fantasy.
Wow, that's quite the badge of honor.
Because why does it exist? Like, what's the point of this? The idea is,
I run around in a dopey lion costume. I don't know.
The idea is dumb. The writing's terrible. The art is pedestrian at best.
Yeah, it was brutal.
It doesn't say anything good about, like, there's no theme, there's no, I don't know, it's just awful. The characters are just stupid. I don't know, why? Yeah. Why did this exist?
Yeah, all of the, just looking at some of the other issues when I was trying to pick which one to do, like, they seem like they have a very, kind of heavy environmental message and stuff like that. Like, it's not really entertaining. And then you don't even give this, like, actual good stories either. So I don't know who this is for. Who cares?
Yes. Just awful. Just awful. Like, I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
other terrible books we've done that like, just you and me. Can you think of the worst book we've done, just the two of us, before
Ooh.
Mike, not even counting Mike? Because Mike L's run, there was a lot of DC garbage with Batman, Superman, Christmas with the Superheroes and all that shit. Those are the ones that immediately popped in mind.
Superman picking up a guy for, road love.
Superman, male prostitute.
Yeah.
But
Um,
Wolfpack was interesting. Remember Wolfpack? That was bad. But
that was hilarious.
yeah, that was hilariously fun bad. This
Yep.
is just annoyingly bad.
This would have been hilariously fun bad if it wasn't so long.
Yes. So very long.
Been like 22 pages of nothing happening, that would be fine. But 32 is a lot.
Can you think of another really bad book we've done?
Bad. I'm sure there are ones I didn't like, but I'm hard pressed to think of them.
Yeah, it's tough. I think we used to do way more bad stuff when Mike L was here. Because he picked a lot of bad stuff.
Well, as a Bronze Age comic show, we gotta get through all of them at some point. So at least we check this one off the list. We don't have to do any more Steelgrip Starkey.
Yeah, this is a 0 out of 10. This is, I mean,
I'll give it a 2 out of 10 because I did get some laughs out of just how terrible this was. The guy in the lion suit, Rick James, and just the fact that nothing on the moon ever felt like there was any issues, like not even a small road bump.
no.
Like the biggest thing was Sherry's got a cut in her suit, but that just got sewn up real quick, so who cares?
All right, maybe a 1 out of 10. Sherry looked cute in her underpants getting the physical exam, and the guy
That's
staring
funny.
at her.
Offering her a job while she's standing there topless.
But that's about it. So, yeah, this book is terrible. I don't know. Would you recommend people check it out anyway, just to see how bad it is, or?
Sure, as an oddity, I would recommend it as something you want to check out in your lifetime. Just to be like, what was this?
Yeah, that's the cool thing about doing a book like this. We learned, because I like to learn. So we've got more information in our brains today than we did yesterday. Now, granted, that information is about Steelgrip Starkey, but still,
it's completely.
You never know.
But
You could be at a party sometime, and the topic comes up. You hear someone say Steelgrip Starkey, boom, you're ready to go. You got conversation right there.
Yep.
So.
You just made a friend.
All right. Next week, I was debating what to pick here because remember I mentioned we haven't done a Loki book, and I was going to pick a Loki book. And then I remembered, well, technically, our buddy Bob Myers and I, Loki did appear in that New Mutants.
Oh, when they went
special.
to Asgard. Yep.
Yeah, he was only in it like a couple pages, so he wasn't like the focal point of the book or anything. But so that kind of counts. So, all right, there's no an urgent need to get to Loki this week, so we'll come back to Loki.
Okay, circle back.
Because I was going to pick a Alpha Flight issue where Loki was in it.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then I flipped through it, and the one scene I read was more blatant exposition. That really annoyed me. So I'm out. And then I was going to pick an Iron Man issue because that's Steel Grip Iron Man, and we've never done the Mandarin, so it was going to be an Iron Man versus the Mandarin issue, and so that was pretty cool. I was going to go with that one, but then it was written by Bill Mantlo and drawn by George Tuska, and we've done those guys a lot, so there's no need to do that right now either. So I was trying to find something weird, something bizarre. And I think something we could learn, just like Steelgrip Starkey,
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm big on my scholarly research and book learning. So next week here on the show, we're going to be doing Ambush Bug issue 1 from 1985.
Okay.
Issue what?
1 definitely will learn.
Yeah, it was a 4-issue limited series, Ambush Bug. I figured I looked through I don't like doing issue 1s, but, we did a She-Hulk last time, and we're going to do another one because this one looked like the most entertaining of the issues. because this issue features a guy called Cheeks, the Toy Wonder. So I wanted to
Had me at Cheeks.
exactly right. I wanted to get your reaction to Cheeks, the Toy Wonder. So we're going to do that. But do you have any knowledge of Ambush Bug?
I've heard the name. I don't think I could pick him out of a lineup.
I was in the same boat as you. I've heard the name mentioned, but I've no idea what he looks like, no idea what the concept of the character is. Keith Giffen created the character. We know Keith Giffen.
Nice. Yeah.
And he does the art here and the writing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. But he basically conceived him as a Bugs Bunny for comic books. And like he's a lot like Deadpool, actually. Like that kind of zany kind of wackiness.
Nice.
So
yeah, fourth breaking maybe.
It seems that way. So next week we'll learn all about Ambush Bug right here on Flea Market Fantasy. So again, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. And until next week, don't get any jank on you.